Welcome back, Mixing Night community. Mixing Night is in its 6th year of broadcast. Thank you so much for your support. Please spread the word and enjoy the show. Tonight is Mixbus Night 2, the sequel. Tonight's guests include pro mixers Bob Horn and DJ Swivel. The segments include Mixbus from scratch, gain staging your mix, Loudness through the ages, Mixbus practice, Q&A with Ken on the chat roll.
Let's go!
Marcus Manderson finds free plugin libraries. I give away 1 critique live, and we give away 1 year of session studio. We're using songs tonight from Radiolarians, Coburn, Kyle Wolf, Obscene Stealers, and Don't Believe in Ghosts. Lock in for a great show. It's Mixing Night. Am I live?
You are live.
Hey, welcome to Mixing Night. I'm your host, Ken Lewis, here with the lovable hellhound Mazzy. We are in for some crazy weather tonight. We're not sure how the live broadcast is going to go, but as long as we don't lose internet, if it gets dangerous in Studio B, or in Studio A, I'm just gonna move down to Studio B, down to the bunker, and just do Q&A down there. So hopefully Studio A will remain tornado-free and raging storm-free. We'll see. I hope there's good weather wherever you are. Though, you know, I love a good storm. I'm not mad at it. Mazzy definitely does not love a good storm at all. I cannot even believe how much has happened in the last month since I've seen you guys. I've been co-producing and co-writing the Coburn project. That's a lot of co's. Coburn is awesome. That girl is going to be a star. She is so talented. Tonight I am playing you her single, Super Ugly. Not the whole thing. I'm going to play you like the first 2 minutes, and then I'm going to show you the mix bus on it. Then I'm going to remove all Mixbus plugins and do the entire Mixbus over from scratch and see what I get. And trust me, every time you do that, it's a different result. Let's see. I've also had Anushka Sen here working on a song for the United Nations with me. She is just ridiculously talented. If you know her, then you know. If you don't know her, then you will. She's entrenched on my short list of favorite people on planet Earth, and we did a really fun song together while she was in town. And I'm going to show you some of her artwork a little bit later. We painted while she was in town. It was a real blast. So check the agenda. The show is absolutely action-packed with great segments tonight. I am throwing down some daw-tacular skills tonight. I couldn't get to half of what I wanted to on Mixbus night number 1 in March, so I was like, well, do I just let it go? And no, we're going to do Mixbus Night 2. There's so much juicy stuff in here tonight. You guys are going to love it. And we just had a blast on Mixbus 1, so we're back, baby. Shout-outs to pro mixers Bob Horn and DJ Swivel for their contributions to tonight's show. Awesome segments from both of them. Marcus Manderson throws down some great free plugins for you guys. Everybody loves free. I certainly do. Tonight's Sprint Mix might be a complete disaster. We're going to find out. I am sprinting the raw multi-track recording of Michael Jackson Rock with you. I suspect it's like the bounce down 24 track for mix, because like the strings are stereo pairs. Like there's 2 stereo pairs of strings, like 4 or 5 horn tracks. You'll see. But it's like more like the raw multi than a mix stems 10-minute sprint. But I'm a cocky motherfucker anyway, and I think I can do it. So I'm gonna put 10 minutes on the clock, and we're gonna see what happens. Where is my sprint? Hang on. I gotta get me some sheep, center myself, and 10 minutes on the clock. Volume all the way up. That will matter to you later. And let's fucking go. It's Mixing Night. I'm pretty happy with this so far. Surprisingly, holy shit. Ha! I never heard that intro before.
Let that rhythm get into you. Don't try to fight it. There ain't nothing that you can do. Relax your mind. Lay back and groove with mine. You gotta feel that heat, and we can ride the boogie. Share that beat of love. I wanna rock with you all night. Dance you in today. I wanna rock with you all night. We're gonna rock the night away. Out on the floor, there ain't nobody there but us. Girl, when you dance, there's a magic that must be love. Just
Whew. Hope that wasn't too low on your speakers, but it's fucking loud here. I mean, it is very loud here. Let me just finish that mix bus, which would have taken me like all of 5 seconds.
1, 2.
That's leaving yourself headroom in a mix on your mix bus. And that's where you're seeing about minus 12 RMS. That's probably about where the original album for this was cut. I'm going to show you later on in the program the Loudness Through the Ages. And what you're going to see is the thing that matters most is what medium, like the medium defined the limitations of the music. So the Beatles only had X amount of tracks to work with, and you know, we have unlimited tracks to work with. You make completely different choices. It's, you know, things like that. All right, I am going to, what is next on the, and man, is that fun mixing Michael Jackson's voice. I mean, don't like him, but he was a supreme talent. So Ken, I'm going to answer the age-old question. Why? Why do you need a mix bus, Ken? Why? Why do you need a mix bus? Well, I'm going to tell you. It's a place where you can route everything into one place. You can monitor your metering. You can make any adjustments to volume, EQ, compression, overall output, saturation, etc., globally, and you can feed every single thing into one mix bus and do all of these things on one bus instead of attempting all of those same things across all of your individual tracks. Because I work like that too. Like, especially if I think my vocal template doesn't have a mix bus, or it used to not at one time. And I was just like, okay, whatever, you know, when I'm done, I just bounce it, and because it's, you know, it's a rough session, I don't need one. When I need a mix bus, I'll add a master and I'll tailor it and I'll do all that. So why do you need a mix bus? It makes your life so much easier. It helps you hit all of your navigation targets, your LUFS, your RMS, your peak, your momentary, your integrated, all of these things. So that's why you need a mix bus. And now I am going to show you why you need ALLCOMP in 60 seconds. Man, that chat roll is popping tonight. MBI, Joe Fairwick, Right Sound Studios, Ben Kruger, good to see you, Ben. Ben Ellery, all the Bens are here. Michael Bruce Miller, who else is here? King Ivy. If I miss you, I'm sorry. Brian Pepin, are you all the way in India tonight? And I assume you know who Anushka Sin is. Super sweetheart. Defingas, Eric Iverson, Bill Dwyer. Hey, any Soundcraft users, join Bill Dwyer's Soundcraft users group. He's got a great one cooking. This is Torch. Who heard the latest Radiolarians that I leaked on my Instagram stories today? Holy jeez. Man, Torch and Fash and Michael Moss are three of the most badass people that I have ever made music with. Well done, fellas. Reason PTV, Joshua Wood. Who else we got? Josh S., Danny Lee, Matt Gregory, Austin Ryan, MT Champion. Good to see you, MT. Haven't seen you in a while. G Brown, the Herbie Brown. Okay, we got a good Dustin Marshall. We got a great crowd tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. I am gonna fucking wreck this show in hopefully all of the best ways and not the worst. I'm gonna get straight to Q&A with you guys. Famous Amos Official asks, "Hey Ken, can you throw auto-tune on Michael Jackson's vocals?" Oh, yes I can. As soon as I get back to it, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to see what happens. Can somebody tell me what the key of the song is by chance? Anybody with perfect pitch out there? Okay, let me tell you guys how to find the key of the song. Well, you kind of need to be musical, so I think there's the auto key plugin, but if you know your scales, you can just kind of play the song and... D flat major. Yeah, let's put some auto-tune on him and see how butchered it is, but I think it starts in D flat major. Sorry, Michael. I've done this to Freddie Mercury, so I don't feel too bad about Michael Jackson. Auto-tune Pro, we're going to guess at D flat major, which is also C sharp major, and we're going to go super auto-tune.
Your mind, lay back and groove with mine. You gotta feel that heat, and we can ride the boogie, share that beat of love. I wanna rock with you.
Damn, that's kind of hot. I can't lie. I'm kind of digging that. I mean, it wouldn't be the main version I would want, but I'm not mad at that as a vibe. Josh S. asks, "Hey Ken, when you turn all of your speakers up for mixing, are the subs turned up as well, or are they just dialed in?" They're turned up in ratio to everything else. So the subs are loud, but they're in the same ratio as they would be at lower volume. I just want to, you feel them more when they're turned way up because the floor is shaking and your pant legs are shaking and, the room is shaking. So, and for the first 20 minutes of a mix, I really like that. I like on 11, start all faders down and just, feel it for the first 20 or 30 minutes and just really thump myself. And then when I feel like I've got really good balances together, this is where sprint mixing goes into the real world. After about 30 minutes, the majority of faders are going to be in the mix and roughly balanced. They're not going to be where they're going to end up at the final. They're roughly balanced. So then I can turn the mix volume way down, and I can start listening at normal human volume and start making my fine-tuning adjustments and dialing things in that way. And inevitably, I go for a little bit too much bass in the initial balances, probably because I like to feel it. And then, as the mix builds, that tends to get, pulled back down a little bit. It's just the way I personally mix. MBI asks, "Hey Ken, do you ever put reverb, even if very low, on the mix bus?" No. I don't personally. I'm sure some people do. It's, if that's your sauce, that's your sauce. I'm not mad at it. I find no reason to do that, really. I think it handcuffs you. I might do that and have the wetness at 0 and the fade out of the song. I might take the wetness from 0 to 100 as the song fades down. That might be a good use of reverb on the master. That could be really, really cool. Man, this chat roll is popping. Seamus, good to see you, Seamus. Who else is here? Sonny Brasco, Teese, J-Rel, King Ivy, Godzi, Mr. Morpheus. Excellent. Man, we got a great crowd tonight. Thank you all for tuning in. Is anybody from Capital University on? If nobody from Capital University tunes in, they do not get any Sprint mixes. But if they do. Mark Abrams just spoke at Capital and dropped a real nice plug for me and Sprint mixing at Capital. So hopefully some of those people are tuned in. Ryan J-Ro asks, hey Ken, is there anywhere to get the stems you use during the sprints? I've found a few resources online, but I was curious if there were any suggestions. Eventually, I'm going to make them all available. I'm working on how. I've made some available. So if anybody, jump on the chat roll and ask anybody if they can share previous sprint stems. Somebody probably has this Grizzly Adams, which I think was 6 levels. And you can, the 6 level sprints. So the sprints start at level 1. I've never mixed a thing in my life. I don't know what to do. Here's level 1, 5 stems. You have 10 minutes, make it sound like a song. Level 2 is 10 stems, level 3 15, 4 is 20, 5 is 25, 6 is Jedi, 30 stems. You have about 21 seconds per stem to make every decision you're going to make. And Lori had never mixed a song in her entire life, and I started her on the Temptation stems. She was done with level 1 on 1 pass in 5 minutes. Level 2 she did in 2 passes. Level 3 she did in 2 passes, and level 4 she completed her 3rd pass and was getting close to being confident on level 4. And she had never mixed anything in her life. And that's only 10 stems away from level 6. This stuff, if you really apply it, can be an absolute game changer. And one day, I'm going to be able to put it into a video game for you guys so that you can learn how to mix at home while having fun. And I got to find a coder first. Mr. Morpheus asks, hey Ken, do you ever mix in headphones? As little as possible. I check my mixes in headphones, and I make sure that they go out to the real world sounding the way I want them to in headphones. And I do a lot of my ATMOS mixing in headphones because it's primarily a headphones format. I also, one thing I do that I think is super important is I check the mix on my phone speakers, and this Audio Movers Listen To, you can send a link basically to your phone or your browser or wherever, and you can open it up here, and it streams the mix bus in real time to your device. So I can turn off the studio speakers and listen to my phone speaker, and I can go like, oh, okay, in the real world, this translates, the lead vocal is just a little bit buried. It sounds fine here, but on here, I don't quite understand every word. I'd better turn it up a little bit. And so you find your trusted sources that you rely on and you can, vibe with, and you stick with those. Let's see, where are we at? We got a little bit more. Yeah, I can take one more. Dustin Marshall asks, hey Ken, what reverb did you reach for when mixing Rock With You? I wanted to reach for a vintage classic, so I went with the UAD Capital Chambers. This thing, you just heard it. This thing is a beast. It sounds so beautiful. And it's like with minimal function controls, it's really tailorable. And let me just find a section of the song that has a lot going on. Yeah, like here we go. And I'll give you a with and without the verb. So you hear that decay. Yeah, that's the Capital Chambers. Man, I love this plugin. It's really exceptional. Let's see, Anushka artwork. So I have been starting to take art classes. Me and my wife have just locally, which has been the funnest thing ever. I always wanted to paint, and I always thought I would be terrible at it, so I avoided it. And I always also thought it was expensive, and it's neither of those two things. It's fun and challenging, but it's not insurmountable. All my paintings are back there. I do a lot of fluorescent work because it looks completely different under blue and green light than it does under regular light. So anyway, so I just wanted to show you Anushka and I, when she was here working on her song, we painted together one night just in the kitchen hanging out. And this is an Anushka Sen original. It's probably the fisheye lens might be warping it a little bit, but that girl is so multi-talented and so gifted, and the way that do you see the way she layers her colors? I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. So I'm gonna have, next time she's here, I gotta have her show me how she does that. That's impressive. Okay, okay, I've shown you guys Anushka artwork. Brilliant girl. Practice mix bus. Okay, let's get to the practice mix bus. What do you say? So, who amongst you grabbed the practice mix bus stems? Speaking of which, I haven't told anybody yet, but it's in the scroll. To enter the giveaways tonight, we are giving away two things. We are giving away 1 year free of Session Studio. Session Studio is like a kind of a writing and production platform for more like for organization of all of your projects. So I've been using it on Coburn and Anushka to organize like all the different song versions and the lyrics and the credits and all of that stuff. So we're giving away a year of that tonight. And I am also giving away one critique to one person. Whatever you want me to critique, whatever you want me to critique about it. I do this stuff on SoundBetter all the time, and I do it on my own site, kenlewis.com, all the time. And so you can hit me at kenlewis.com if you want to critique. I charge $150 for it. It's written. If you want to see what people say about it, you can look at my SoundBetter reviews. Most of those reviews are they call them sound checks. So either spot, come and get at me, and I'm happy to put my ears on your project, but somebody gets one for free tonight, and we'll see who it is. I think the free one's getting drawn like in an hour. Okay. Okay, I'm getting to the practice mix buses. So the practice mix buses, I don't know who grabbed them, but I put the links out there, and I'm pretty sure the links to the practice mix buses are in the description of the video you are watching right now. Go get them. So I gave you guys 4 songs. Mix bus practice. Boom. I gave you guys 4 songs, and all songs that I had mixed. And with my finished mix bus, unmastered, but with my finished mix bus, which is basically mastered, but I'm not trying to be like GOAT level with it. And the mix with just my mix bus plugins completely removed, and then the print. So hopefully you guys grabbed those and did your own versions of them and had fun and learned some stuff. I'm going to show you how I got to a finish line on these, but one of the most important things is, we're going to talk about this a couple times tonight, and we have a banner ready for this somewhere. Gain staging. Gain staging. So if you notice, maybe you don't, how I start my sprint mixes. My sprint mixes are really, my volume is on 10, so that I have mix bus headroom, and I don't have to think about my mix bus while I'm balancing, and I just know it's going to be okay. So when I'm doing my initial balances, my volume is on 11. Now, when you do this, you must turn off all of your automation, or commit it and get rid of it, and all faders down and make sure nothing snaps up, because I guarantee you if your volume's on 11 and a kick drum or a bass or a vocal snaps up at the loud volume, you're going to either blow your speakers or blow your ears. But back to the challenge. So I start my mix, volume on 11, just the monitoring on 11. And what that does for me is it allows me to, instead of pushing up my faders, I don't know if you can see this, to say, you know, I bet a lot of you guys, when you're starting, you're pushing that kick drum and that snare drum up to -5, 0, maybe even +5. You want that thing to really thump and really hit, right? No, you've just eaten up all of your mix bus. It's gone now. So what you want to do, or what I do, and if this works for you, then what you want to do as well, is mix bus all the way up, or the monitor volume all the way up. I'll get my terminology straight. And then as you start balancing, your faders end up starting to sit at like -20s and -30s. And then you have a ton of headroom on the mix bus. And especially if you're a new mixer, inevitably it's going to be push up a little bit here, push up a little bit there, and you're going to lose control of your mix bus. But if you start like this, you're going to have plenty of headroom to correct, rebalance, and be okay. And for me, here's what I wanted to show you. This is my mix bus. This is my no mix bus. All my mix bus plugins removed. And most of this is just volume difference. Like I took probably the Pro L2 or something clean, and I just moved up the entire volume of my mix to where I wanted the next plugin to hit. Because some of the gain staging is from one plugin into another. It's not only how you hit the mix bus, it's how you set up your plugin chains. And I thought that was, if you saw the March mix bus episode, Cohen Heldon's segment was really fascinating in that he really pays attention to the order of plugins and the gain staging into and out of each plugin is very important to him, and he has a lot of techniques based around that. And you know, everybody has their own techniques. I'm gonna try some of DJ Swivel's. We're showing you some of his tonight. He's got a dope technique with his noctonal, and that new hit strip of his is fucking dope. Okay, so let me play you guys some. I'm gonna shut up and work. So you kind of got to watch up here, but the long and short of it is when I switch back and forth between the red and the blue, which is the blue is going through this aux. And let me see if I can just pull up, boom. So you can see all the way up to almost, I think there's a Pro L2 after that. So you can see my chain. I think I configured this. Boom, I did. Boom, here's my mix bus for 10 out of 10. So I started with the Black Box HG2 Saturator. And typically, I've been through all of these presets time and time again. The ones that I keep coming back to as general starts are Rock Anarchy and Snare-tacular. I usually listen to a few of the others to see if anything hits me better, but these two are very different shapes, Snare-tacular and Rock Anarchy. Rock Anarchy is kind of scooped and bright, and Snare-tacular is kind of mid-forward. And this just gives it did I just change that? Yeah, I did. Rock Anarchy was the one. So that just gives it a little bit of saturation, and also I get level control before my Vari-Mu. So the Vari-Mu, the input of the Vari-Mu and the Vari-Mu settings other than the output never change for me. I'm pushing into it until I get the result that I want. And the result that I want is past 6 dB of steady reduction. That's where the Verymu T-Bar, what's it called, Fairchild mod kicks in and starts sounding like the Fairchild Verymu. And if you see I have slowest attack, slowest release, thresholds all the way down, and I'm mashing into this, I'm pretty sure what I'm emulating here, and I do the exact same thing on my hardware unit, which I'm hoping to show you guys next month, is I am saturating the transformers on the way in. So I'm getting a little bit of transformer compression on the way in, possibly a lot, and squeezing the rest. And then a little bit on, this is just a tiny little notch of probably something I heard in the vocal that was bothering me. Shaping the whole mix a little bit with the Pultec, and then a final just volume push with the FabFilter Pro L2. Now let me walk through these and oh, and there's this one before the Pro L2. So let me walk through these and I'll show you them one at a time. You see my compression is past -6, between -6 and -8. That's pretty subtle. The Pultec will not be subtle. I know some people are very purist and minimalist with their mix bus. Man, not me. I am a carve it until it feels the way that I want it to feel. And I feel like, especially with this, the Pultec Pro Legacy, whenever people talk about like 3D in, plugins or EQs and things like that, I'm always like, that's bullshit. Except for this thing. This thing sounds, I can pull things out with these, especially with the mid bands. You can pull out musicality in your mix that you didn't even know was there. It's so amazing. I love this thing. What are you drawing about? You got that whole bone. Are you done with that already? Jeez. All right, I'm going to feed the troll. All right, you ready? All right, relax. Go. They're over there. All right. So I'm carving a lot with the Pultec. And then I'll show you the next thing. So I like the turbo limiter on this. Let me put this up over here. I like the turbo limiter on this, and I usually set my output at -1 so that I give a little bit of headroom to push into the Pro L2. In case this is coming out really loud. Usually I don't touch any of the tone, but I listened and I liked it better. Stereo enhance, I usually never go past 12. That's pretty wide for natural music. What I do, and I showed this on the last show, I believe, is I pick individual elements and I pick individual bands and I widen those way out, and you can get this enormously wide mix that sounds very phase coherent. Okay, Brooklyn Baby was done in Logic, so I can't get to that one, but I'm going to show you the evacuation. Where is... No, where's here's evacuation. Okay. So this chain starts with Verymu, then Pultec Pro, then Masterdesk, then Pro L2. So I'm going to bypass them all and bring them back. And I'm going to leave the Pro L2 because it's just volume. Everything else I'm going to bypass and bring in so you can hear. Okay, I feel like I should explain, even though I don't really fully understand it myself, why I use the Varimu like this. The release is like 7 seconds, and the attack is 70 milliseconds, which is super slow in attack times for compressors. And whenever people talk about glue, this is the glue. It doesn't work for everything. It's a little bit too heavy-handed for like EDM drops and boom bap hip hop. It's a little bit too aggressive. Sometimes 808 stuff is too aggressive on this, but generally this handles most things. And that really slow attack and really slow release, I think it must emulate radio compression, and our ears just love the sound of it. At least mine do. So anyway, but it's never my finishing compressor. It's always my starting compressor. It's my shaper, not my squeezer. All right, I'm kind of running behind, but I want to show this. Let's get Bob queued up, but I'm not going to go to him just yet. If you haven't gotten these stems, or if you have gotten these stems, the most challenging one is the Kyle Wolf song, Fading into Black. And the reason it's so challenging is because it's so dynamic, and you don't realize how dynamic it is until all of the mix bus plugins are off of it, and you've got to try and rematch mine, and you're like, oh, that's what mix bus compression is for. Oh, okay, I get it. And it's basically the way I would describe Kyle's song is you're trying to get it as undynamic as possible while simultaneously mixing and producing and writing the sense of dynamics into it. And what I mean by that is there's not going to be more than maybe a couple dB RMS difference between the verse and the full chorus, but the verse is going to have fewer elements, and it's going to be arranged more sparsely. And then when you hit the chorus, it's going to naturally not only feel louder because it gets just this little bit louder, but it's going to feel louder because all of the frequencies are filled in more and you're hearing more. So I don't know if that makes sense. Man, that chat roll. Bob Horn is on the chat roll. I think Bob Horn wants us to go to his thing, but I'm not going to yet. I'm going to make Bob wait because I need to play you guys this Kyle Wolf thing. Beautiful song, by the way, Kyle. So this is no plugins on the mix bus. So you can hear just how much headroom that I saved myself. Now I'm just going to start adding these back one at a time, and we'll see what we get. I usually use clippers real minimally. This is just like a little boop, just a touch of loudness. I kind of like this because it feels a little dirty to me. The gold clip is usually my go-to, but it's like a little cleaner. And you see what I'm doing on FabFilter. The oversampling really does matter. It just clears everything up. Basically, oversampling just takes more plots on the waveform and draws it more accurately for you. And for whatever reason, that cleans it up. I'm not really sure how, but if you listen, it's there. I usually... Hey, you. I usually set my output ceiling at 0.1 dB. That should be plenty enough, 0.1. 24-bit dither, 24-bit dither, 32 times oversampling on the Pro L2. I usually work in like 4 or 8 times oversampling, and then when I'm ready to print, it goes to 32. But usually I don't work in 32. Sometimes I can. If it's a sparse session, I usually can. All of these, I'll show you when I get to Coburn, that they don't change things much, but enough. Okay, I am going to go to Bob Horn. Bob Horn, thanks for showing up on the chat roll. Love you, brother. Me and Bob Horn are 2/5 of the Faders of the Lost Art. We are a talk show on YouTube and streaming. It's me, Dave Pensato, Bob Horn, Nico Hamui, and Fareed Salama. And we have guests like Paul Wolf and Stephen Slate, and you name it. We've had some amazing, amazing people join us. So thank you, Bob, for contributing to Mixing Night. I'm looking forward to seeing you again on Faders of the Lost Art. Let's go to Bob Horn.
Hey, Mixing Night Audio. This is Bob Horn here to show you what I use on the stereo bus. Send out my individual tracks from the Lynx Aurora into my Rupert Neve summing mixer. Out of the summing mixer, we go into the SSL Fusion. I use occasionally the low-end filter, sometimes the high-frequency compressor if I really need it. I use the stereo imaging a lot, and then depending on the song, I will audition this transformer. And some songs it sounds cool, it gives it a little bit of a dirty effect, and sometimes I need it real clean, so I don't use that. Occasionally, I'll use this DW Fern tube compressor on my stereo bus. So once in the box, I typically have 4 or 5 plugins, but I also have other options, see what's working best for the song. Typically, I will start with Ozone 11, and I will have low end focus, clarity, exciter, sometimes an EQ. On the exciter, one of my favorite things to do is put it in mid-side mode and just push up the excitement on the low mids and the super highs just on the side, and it kind of widens the track without using, a stereo imaging plugin. After that, I will have one of 2 multi-band compressors. I love this Dyne 1. I use it in parallel mode. It really helps with the groove of the song. If I don't use that, I will use the ML4000 multi-band by McDSP. After that, I will typically have the Oxford Inflator. I do just a little bit of the effect, and a lot of times, because I like to work on the mid so much, sometimes it just helps to push the curve up a little bit, and it kind of reclaims some of those mids, some of that warmth. If I want more tonal color, I will add the Hazelrig VLC. And I like this as an EQ because you don't have a lot of parametric bands and notches and stuff that can get overdone on a stereo bus. If I want to go a little more crazy, I can always break out the Better Maker EQ, which has a pull tech as well as 2 parametric bands. Next is Gold Clip. Love Gold Clip. I usually just shave off about a dB, a half dB to a dB and a half of the top transients, which is usually the snare or kick, depending on the genre. And then finally, Limitless. Limitless by DMG Audio. Great limiter. Sounds incredible. Grabs all your ISP inner sample peaks. Really transparent sounding. And if all that fails, sometimes I'll just break out God Particle and maybe use that in combo with the ML4000. Sometimes those two really sound good together. Pretty fluid with my stereo bus. I just kind of like to get into it, audition things, and whatever I end up with is it. All right, everybody. See you next time.
Here are my credits this month on the Muso AI app. Before Muso, I had no idea my work was getting so many streams, and I still think this is a little bit crazy. This doesn't even count Apple Music. The Muso credit aggregator found things I forgot I had done, and I'm sure you'll recognize a lot of the names on my credits. I currently have 10 songs with over 1 billion streams, and I'm about to have 2 more with Kanye West All Falls Down and Taylor Swift Lavender Haze. The Muso milestones are a little bit different than the standard RIAA Gold, Platinum, and Diamond certs. I have 4 RIAA Diamond albums and singles. I have 24 Muso Diamonds. I have 114 RIAA Gold records, and I have 459 Muso Gold records. So Muso seems to have a different scale for this stuff, and you know, it's nice to see your numbers super inflated. So, but it's been a great credit aggregating app. I've been using it about 2 years now. So if you need something to track your credits, I recommend this one. All right, how was that Bob Horn segment? Hope everybody liked that. Did you guys run the Muso Minute?
Yes, we did.
Excellent. Yeah, I've been using that Muso app for like 2 years, and it's definitely the best credit collector. Man, that chat roll is popping tonight. MBI, thanks for hanging late, man. Chris Adelman, who else has we got here? Seamus, Right Sound, R. Keller, Rich Keller Music. God damn, we have some fucking heavies on tonight. Bob Horn and Rich Keller, you guys are spoiled. You don't understand the level of talent that is tapping into this show. That is really an honor, and Rich is an absolute beast. He's a hell of a photographer too. Let's see. Hey you, Mazzy's like, Mazzy. You think that's the way to Daddy's heart? I don't think so. Matt Gregory asks, hey Ken, do you ever use multiple compressors on your mix bus in addition to the Manley? Yes, almost everything is a compressor. The Black Box HG2 saturation is compression. It's it's light compression, as well as the Master Desk does some compression. The Pro L2 does final brick wall limiting. And what else was in that chain? And the clippers are fast attack, fast release, brick wall clip, limiters. So almost all of those things are hey you. Almost all of those things are compressors or limiters or have a component of that in them that take little bites out of it and shape it in certain ways. And you string the plugins together that you want to shape it in the way that you want. If I wanted a different shape, I would be using different plugins. So that's kind of the philosophy behind it. Eric Chancey's on the chat roll. What's up, Eric? Hey, Mazzy says, what's up, Eric? Roger Hansen, what's up, Roger? Hey, you hush it up. You cannot get a treat every 5 seconds. That's just not the way that works. Okay, I'm going to go to Coburn. So if you guys have not checked this girl out yet, start following at Coburn Official right now. You will too? All right, Mazzy says Mazzy's going to follow at Coburn Official. Erin Coburn is an absolute beast. We are doing her album right now, and man, I think we're cutting vocals to song 8 this week. We're making great progress with it. Super Ugly is most likely going to be the first single. I can't play all of it because it's unreleased, but I'm going to play you, the first couple minutes or so, and I'm going to show you my mix bus, and then I'm just going to get rid of all of that, and I'm just going to work on instinct, and I'm going to build it back up, and I'm going to see what happens, and I'm going to try and use plugins that I didn't use the first time. So we'll see how that goes. And, because for me, I always think like everybody's brain processes information a little bit differently, and I am going to put things together in a way that might work for me, and you might grab the same plugins, and it just may not click with you. You may just be like, that's not what I wanted. That's not what I expected. Whereas with me on my own personal stuff, most likely because I know that my mixes work into the chains that I tend to use, that they work for me. So anyway, on to Aaron Coburn. I'm going to play you just like a minute of this freaking song because you're going to hear this thing in like Marvel feature films and on the radio, and man, this is going to be a big song. This is Super Ugly by Coburn.
Picked on like a daisy. Problem child, where's my 12-foot body? Serve me vile. Is there magic we like? Cuts and bruises cover up the bright side. Prove it useless. Give me legs like a skyscraper. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You could fix, you could solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster. Make me bizarre. Tip me in dark ink. A dirty word. Draw me repulsing. Make me bizarre. Tip me in deadly. My character. A wolf in wolf clothing. Make my shape super ugly. Super ugly. Super ugly. And rearrange. Super ugly. Super ugly. Paint me strange. Living in a jump seat. Stuck running, smelling like fresh meat.
That's how much headroom I have.
Blindly charming dogs closing
In fact, the first thing that I did with this equalizer was I turned up the input
skin. Wipe the bones. Bring me to survival.
9 dB just to give it.
It's like a skyscraper.
Remember how I told you I gain stage one plug into the next so I get the reaction that I want? I turned that up so that it would go into hit strip correctly and I would be working with a normal level. So let's add hit strip. Well, actually, all I'm doing is adding some. What am I adding here? 10K? Let's hear it.
Picked on like a daisy.
Damn, hit strip is doing some heavy lifting. This might be a bigger challenge than I thought for a quick segment.
Picked on like a daisy. Problem child, where's my 12-foot body? Picked on like a daisy. Problem. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You could fix, you could solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster.
I'm actually not pushing this as hard as I was previous. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's just this. So I'm not trying to make this a finished master. I'm just trying to finish the mix bus because rock masters nowadays, so many of them are sitting at like -5s, -6s on the average RMS. And sometimes you can get it there just pushing the Pro L2 until it gets there. But sometimes it's just like you're distorting everything trying to get it that loud. So I'll leave that to the mastering engineers, but I'm trying to get it as loud as I can into it, but keeping it musical and punchy and big. So that's my mix bus. Now I'm just going to get rid of this shit and start again. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, just so you guys see how I use it, is black box
Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster.
What compressor should I use? Maybe I'll use something I haven't. Let's use... I don't want to get too in the weeds. Oh, Mazzy Bear. Let's use a 33609. Not my favorite, but for rock, it's usually pretty solid. Need 33609. Boom.
Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster. Shape the clay, make a new layer. Charming dogs closing in on me.
I'm not mad at this. This is sounding pretty good. I'll stick with the 33609 for now.
Charming dogs closing in on me. Final mile, scale the skin, wipe the bones, bring me to survival. Give me legs like a skyscraper. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster. Charming dogs closing in on me. Charming dogs closing in on me. Final mile, scale the skin, wipe the bones, bring me to survival. Give me legs like a skyscraper. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster. Charming dogs closing in on me. Final mile, scale the skin, wipe the bones, bring me to survival. Give me legs like a skyscraper. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster. Charming dogs closing in on me. Final mile, scale the skin, wipe the bones, bring me to survival. Give me legs like a skyscraper. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster. Charming dogs closing in on me. Final mile, scale the skin, wipe the bones, bring me to survival. Give me legs like a skyscraper. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster. Charming dogs closing in on me. Final mile, scale the skin, wipe the...
Alright, so plugins I've never used before. Still a pretty darn solid result on... Hey, you. Get over there. Be quiet. Plugins I've never used before. Still pretty solid result in a very short period of time on the mix bus. Just using some basic strategies. I find these compressors that have the auto release setting, like the SSL mix bus compressor and the 33609, the auto release tends to be the best. Something about it just tends to really work. But I tend to listen to all of them and see how each of them reacts. You know, when I'm doing client stuff for real, I'm much more under a microscope. This stuff is try and show you the overarching things that hopefully matter. Let me get to some questions. And okay, how am I doing on time, Ken? Let's see. Mix bus from scratch. Okay, I'm a little bit behind. I'm going to do one question, then I'm going to go to Ann Mincelli. Ben Ellery asks, hey Ken, what did you use on the Coburn bass? ALLCOMP. ALLCOMP. The ALLCOMP low end setting. It is, you saw me do it on the Michael Jackson thing. I do the same thing. It's so fast and easy. And it allows me to kind of shape the bass and put it in a couple different ranges very quickly using the levitate, which is a tilt, and the mash if I need a little bit of limiting, which usually I don't. But that low end is just, it's a cheat code. You just, you know, if you want it fuzzy, like if you want a fuzzy 808 up to about 2 o'clock and you're done. If you want it super fuzzy, then all the way up. But at like just a solid bass sound, like 9 to 11 o'clock on the dial, and push into it until you get the result you want, and ALLCOMP is the thing. It is really like the Swiss Army knife of not only compressors, but it's like the creative Swiss Army knife. Hey, you. It's like the creative Swiss Army knife because I put all of these, well, me and Dom put all of these extra tools in it. He was amazing building it. We put all these extra tools in it, like a tilt and a reverb and an exciter and an extra limiter and some filters, so that you guys could create things with one plugin under one roof that you could, you know, that would take you like 4 others. And what I learned is when you have to go from this plugin to that plugin to that plugin to that plugin to get a result, it's a different process than if you just open one plugin, and that one plugin allows you to do all of those things, and then you're evaluating every single thing that you need to do looking at one thing, and you're not switching your brain from this process to that process to that one to that one to that one to that, which one, everything is right there. So one of the cheat codes with ALLCOMP is you don't have to think much. You can listen to a whole bunch of different flavors really quickly. You can dial it in very fast. And then you can ask yourself, like, is this the right thing for the song? And if it is, then you can tweak from there and tailor it. And there you go. Okay. So I went freelance in 1995, like spring of 1995. I got to New York City in May of 1993. I was a staff engineer at SoundCheck recording studio in Midtown for 2.5 years. Then I went freelance. And one of probably the first freelance gig that I did, I was engineering and mixing this album for a Universal artist named Sherry Johnson. And we were doing a lot of the tracking at Axis Studios in New York City. And Axis was just like one of the cool, like 2-room facilities. And we started booking there, and Ann Mincelli was my assistant. And she was a brand new assistant at Axis, and I was a brand new freelancer. I had been a staff engineer at SoundCheck for almost 3 years, but I was a new freelancer. This was my first project. And that's how we met. And so whenever I would work at Axis, I would request Ann, I would request Ann if she was available. And eventually Ann moved from Axis to Quad. And whenever I was at Quad doing sessions, I would always recommend Ann. You just know, at least I've always just known who the great ones are. And she was always one of the great ones. When she was an assistant, you could just tell. And so then after Quad, I think that's when she connected with Alicia Keys, maybe at Campo, I'm not really sure. But she's been with Alicia for decades now, and they have made history together. And I am just First off, I'm so proud to know her, and so proud that her and I are both still in this industry and still kicking ass together. We just both won another Grammy statue together working on Hell's Kitchen for Alicia Keys. Thank you so much, Ann. Thank you so much, Alicia. And now they both have a Barbie doll, which I think is... Get over here. which is the coolest thing in the world. Ann and AK both got Barbies. Roll the tape. This is so cool.
I hope she plays Girl on Fire.
But Alicia, it's your show.
This girl is on fire. This girl.
All right. Mazzy is determined to make this broadcast her own. We are going to go to DJ Swivel. He's going to show you his mix bus and a few techniques that blew my mind. That nocturnal shit, I haven't tried it yet. And he says, it doesn't work all the time. Use your ears, but when it works, it's great. And when it doesn't, you usually know it. So let's go to DJ Swivel and check out his mix bus. And his new hit strip plugin is fantastic. I've been using that a lot.
What's up, Ken and the Mixing Night audio crew? I'm DJ Swivel. Thank you for having me. And I know today you guys are talking about your mix buses. So I thought I would show you my mix bus on actually a brand new song. It's actually not out yet, so you guys are getting a sneak peek. It's called Here's an Indie Song by Nick Candler. And it's a great song. And the reason I want to show this one is because I'm doing something somewhat unique here. I saw a mastering engineer talking on, Audio Engineer Instagram about how he tunes his masters to the key of the song. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. Let me try that out. So we're going to just kind of go in line here. On the mix bus, I have Noctonal. I have a FabFilter Saturn, and then Hit Strip is last in line, and it's doing most of the work. So let's start with Noctonal here. And essentially what we're doing, the key of the song is F sharp. So we're pushing F sharp and some of the even order harmonics. You can see we have even and odd order harmonics here. When I built this plugin Noctonal, this was not really the use case I was thinking of. It was actually really more a drum tuner. And I kind of heard this tip, so I tried it out. And I gave Nick, the artist, an option of with and without, and he chose with. He thought it sounded better. So it's going to be very subtle. I'm going to A-B it and see if you guys can hear what it's doing.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5 foot 4. I give it up for the girl next door. She got it going, but a man's a troll. And methamphetamine runs through his soul. Oh hell no, she got.
Okay, so it's very subtle. What I'll do, just so you can really hear it loud, let me just push it up way loud, just so it's obvious, and then I'll dial it back. Here we go.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5 foot 4. I give it up for the girl next door. She got it going, but a man's a troll. And methamphetamine runs through his soul. Oh hell no, she got dark brown eyes that disappear in the dark when she hides from the man that hates his.
Okay, so it's a nice, just a very subtle thing. It adds a little bit of shine in the guitars, maybe adds a little bit of kind of emphasis in those kind of upper frequencies of the vocals, but it's not too intense. So try it out, see if it works for you. I don't know if this is something I would do on every mix, but it worked on this one, so that's that. All right, next up, we have Saturn. And on Saturn, all we're doing is pushing below 495 hertz, the warm tape setting, about 32%. And we have the mix set to 50%. So not a whole lot, but it is adding some nice round warmth at the bottom. Let's bypass that.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5 foot 4. I give it up for the girl next door. She got it going, but a man's a troll. And methamphetamine runs through his soul. Oh hell no, she got.
Nice. So just add some nice roundness on the bottom. And now we'll talk about Hit Strip. It's doing a lot. We have some bus compression, parallel, 59% of it, some EQ, a little bit of exciting, pushing the transients just a bit, not even a full dB, and then we have the limiter. So let's do a bypass on that, and then I'll kind of walk you through my process here.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5 foot 4. I give it up for the girl next door. She got it going, but a man's a troll. And methamphetamine runs through his soul. Oh hell no, she got.
Okay, so the bus compression, 2-to-1 ratio, the attack is 30 milliseconds, quick release 14 milliseconds, and the knee is kind of in the middle there. And we have LR link on. Of course, we're doing that because we don't want any sort of phase issues with the left and right channels being processed differently. So LR link is on for that. On the EQ, we're kind of pushing, we're just cutting a little bit of the lows, like really, really low down here, just kind of round, like softening off the bottom it's not doing much. And then we're pushing the mids at 32 hertz in a dynamic way, just to kind of emphasize the kick a bit, the low end of the kick. And then we are also pushing the transient EQ at 182 hertz. So kind of the top of the transient of the kick, we're pushing that a little bit. And then we have kind of just a soft kind of bell curve on the top there, like maybe 2 dB at the most. Okay, and then we have an exciter, 14% at 60 hertz, just like rounding out the bottom a little bit there. And then we're pushing the transients, again, quite low. So really just the kick part of the transient, and again, 0.8 dB, so not very much. And then we have a limiter at about -7 dB. So why don't I kind of bypass everything and I'll add it one by one so you can see how we built this.
5 foot 4, I'd give it up for the girl next door. She got it going, but a man's a troll. And methamphetamine was through his soul. Oh hell no, she got dark brown eyes that disappear in the dark where she hides from the man that hates his own damn soul.
That's the mix bus. Now I'll do one more thing. I'll turn the limiter's auto gain off. And what we'll do is we'll kind of bypass everything and put it back in at an even level so you can hear what the whole process is actually doing.
5 foot 4, I'd give it up for the girl next door. She got it going, but a man's a troll. And methamphetamine was through his soul. Oh hell no, she got dark brown eyes that disappear in the dark where she hides.
That's my mix bus. Hope you guys have an amazing show, and thanks for having me. Peace.
Welcome back. Thank you, DJ Swivel. Love that segment. That nocturnal shit was amazing. And as I've been using Hitstrip, it does things that I didn't even know you could do, especially in the EQ section. The number of choices are just astounding, and the way that you can shape stuff with it is really well done. All right, back to questions. The Secret Sound Lab asks, "Hey Ken, when setting attack and release on the final limiter, what are you listening for?" Well, your final limiter is a brick wall limiter. The attack is 0 and the release is, I don't know, whatever their algorithm is set to is probably going to do a better job than what you're going to try and do. I usually stick to the stock, whatever Fab Filter Pro L2 gives me. Like for instance with Super Ugly, this is a great, let me put my plugins back. Bank, dank, dank, dank. Oh. So the Pro L2, you'll see the compression like right here.
Charming dogs closing in on me. 5 miles scale the.
So, and this is basically the brick wall output. This is like nothing shall exceed this. And everything else is pushing up into it. But with this changes the, I don't know, the style of the algorithm, for lack of a better word. And with this, I just listen to all of them one by one and start narrowing them down. And my 3 favorites were Transparent, All Around, and Aggressive. And I was torn between All Around and Aggressive. I'll let you hear them. They're really close. Aggressive is just a little bit bigger, but I felt like it was bigger for not a good reason.
Charming dogs closing in on me. Give me legs like a skyscraper. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You could fix, you could solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster.
Just seems not quite as crisp and punchy on Aggressive as it does on All Around on this one. Let's try Transparent.
Give me legs like a skyscraper. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can.
Yeah, the All Around is doing something to the drums that's very slightly better for me than what Transparent is doing. And these are like, since Bob Horn is on the chat, these are like the K14 metering arguments. There are such minute differences. Not anybody's really ever going to, is this going to matter if you use this algorithm over that algorithm? No. But if during the course of a mix, you have 1,000 or 5,000 decisions, and your intuition makes the better decision most of the time, you're going to end up with a far better mix at the end of your road. And that's just kind of incrementally pushing it along and improving and improving and improving until you're like, okay, I'm done. And then that's it. Let's see. Astro Joey asks, hey Ken, when would you use ALLCOMP on your mix bus? The only thing so I didn't really design ALLCOMP for the mix bus, but the one thing that I have found it's great for is saturation if you push it lightly. The light saturation on this, let me just see if I can show you. Do you hear that dog going to Bone Town behind me? All right, ALLCOMP. Heat. This heat is so good because it goes from like gentle saturation into heavy distortion very musically. Let's see what it's doing to this.
Give me legs like a skyscraper. Shape the clay, they make a layer. You can fix, you can solve all my problems. Give me legs like a skyscraper. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can solve all my problems. Turn me into a monster. Give me legs like a skyscraper. Shape the clay, make a new layer. You can fix, you can.
So, two things at play with heat on the mix bus. It's usually got to be first because you want to catch the saturator on the mix bus very lightly. You don't want it distorting. You want it lightly saturating. And this, when it lightly saturates, sounds beautiful. So you just got to adjust the push into it right here until you get what you want as far as the body of it. You don't want it to be fuzzy. You just want it to feel a little bit, I don't know, edgier. Is edgier the right word? What the heck is even going on right now? Yeah, that's the only time I use ALLCOMP on the mix bus. We're building other mix bus stuff though. We're gonna have it for you this year, and our Cascade delay is nearly done. I've been using it on a ton of my sessions. Actually, I'm not gonna show it to you, but see, I have Cascade right there and Cascade right there. I've been using it like crazy. Cascade right there. It is a really exceptional sounding delay, and when Dom and I set out to build Cascade, our first goal was make the best delay for dummies for people who don't know how to mix, don't know what a delay is and how to use it. It needs to be straight out of the box, very easy to use, very musical, and very easy to tweak. But it also has to be sonically good enough with enough added features that a pro like me would love it, and smashed it. Jeez, you guys are going to love this thing. I don't know when. I think we're about to go into testing with it, so hopefully it's going to be out soon. Let's see. Reason PTV asks, hey Ken, will Audio School Online ever return? Oh, bad news, no. For those that don't know, I opened it was audioschoolonline.com. I basically did tutorials like in my own studio. They were long form, usually an hour to 2 hours. And I would just usually run through a full mix or really go deep into one or two techniques. And I created maybe 50 or 60 different videos. But I did that in the days when video was, my editing was, there was no editing. It was full run-throughs for each lesson was just, take me, mistakes and all. But the intro and the exit graphics were the fucking worst. And it just looks dated. The software is dated. A lot of the plugins aren't around anymore. And it's like, well, can't let the old material be evergreen forever. Software moves on. So we put some of it up on YouTube, and we may put more of it up on. I miss it, but that's kind of what Mixing Night is, the evolution of Audio School Online, except for I don't make a dime on Mixing Night, and I did decent on Audio School Online for a while. Eric Iverson asks, "Hey Ken, how do you decide when to start adding processing to various elements in a song?" It's always kind of a different decision for me, and it's always based on vibe. Sometimes if I'm making really, really great progress, just building basic balances and putting things together, I'm just going to keep on that track. If maybe, I hit something and I know that if I stop in this moment and I put a cavernous reverb on the lead vocal and I tuck it back in my mix, it's going to give me the vibe direction that I need so that the rest of the instrumentation as I'm building goes in the right direction. So it's always a balance between taking the time to tailor things, and this is early on, this is first hour of your mix, taking the time to tailor things early on, but only when they're like important vibe components, not just like, okay, this volume works, maybe a little off the low end, done, move on. This is more like, okay, I'm gonna sit here, I'm gonna compress this, I'm gonna find the right effect. Is that a verb? Is that a delay? Is whatever it is. But for the most part, you see me just slapping things into the mix very, very fast until it starts sounding like a song. Because for me, I want to evaluate the song, not the sum of its parts. I don't want to evaluate the guitar. I want to evaluate how the guitar makes me feel in the song. And usually when I'm soloing, I am soloing very briefly, and what I'm doing is allowing my ear to process that sound and go, okay, like, I'll just do one so you can kind of get an idea.
Blindly charming dogs closing in on me. 5 miles. Charming dogs closing in.
So in those 2 quick listens, I didn't do any work on them. I said to myself, oh, okay, so there's a kick pattern going on underneath that's different than the one on top, and it's like ba 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 ba, and then it's more of like a breakbeat loop on top that has a solid kick, but it doesn't have like a real sub component that the kick 2 has. And I don't see having to EQ the drum loop 1. Maybe maybe to get it to sit into the mix the way I want it to, but on its own it sounds fine. And and loop 2, probably the same thing. I'd have to see how it feels up underneath the mix. But now my ears can catalog those and track them all over the mix, and without having to solo them, then I can pan them if I need to. Not drums, but sometimes drums. But EQ, compress, add verb or space or whatever to it, with much less or no soloing, so that you can hear your actions in the full mix. Let's see, am I on track here? I think I talked earlier a bit about gain staging your mix bus. Marcus Manderson is in a few minutes. So yeah, I think I already covered gain staging your mix bus with this. I mean, you see how much headroom I have, and then it's just incremental pushing. I'm getting the right volume out of one and into the next so that I can get the best result out of the next one that I need. And you see some plugins are set them and forget them, and you push into them until you get the result out of them. And some plugins are different every time. I'm going to carve with this one until I get the result that my ears tell me. Let's see. We have a giveaway. Let's do the giveaway after Let's do the giveaway before Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery, which is coming up in a few minutes. Let's see. But what else can I tell you about gain staging? Are there gain staging questions? I'll answer a couple more questions. Nathan Flynn asks, "Hey Ken, is it currently possible to turn off the threshold in ALLCOMP and drive the input further for color? You can turn off the top section and use only the drop-down LMAO section." You heard that correctly. So if you... where is it? Here? No, it's there. So this little caret right here, if you click the caret, the top section bypasses, but you still have the levitate tilt, mash limiter, awaken exciter, and the oxidate reverbs. It becomes super extra functional that way. Also, this is not a Mixbus thing, but this is an ALLCOMP cheat code. And I showed it on the ALLCOMP 60 seconds earlier. I've been using Oxidate and Pre a lot. And what this does is it feeds vocal reverb compression instead of vocal compression reverb. So the vocal and the reverb marry, they push into the compressor. The reverb gets pushed backwards when the vocal is singing, and as soon as the vocalist stops, the reverb kind of explodes forward in this really, really cool way. And I did that with the Michael Jackson thing. So if you go back and you watch that segment, I put Oxidate 4 in Pre, and you can kind of hear it explode back at you. Let me do that with Coburn, and you can hear exactly what I'm talking about.
Problem child, where's my 12-foot? Problem child, where's my 12-foot? Problem child, where's my 12-foot? Picked on like a daisy. Problem child, where's my 12-foot body? Serve me, picked on like a daisy. Problem child, where's my 12-foot body? Serve me, picked on like a daisy. Problem child, where's my 12-foot body? Serve me, picked on like a daisy. Problem child, where's my 12-foot body? Picked on like a daisy.
Here's a more extreme example.
Problem child, where's my 12-foot body? Serve me, picked.
So do you hear how it's really present? That vocal is right in your face until the moment that she stops, and then all of a sudden it's just this wash of reverb. Speaking of a wash of reverb, has anybody heard the new John Bellion wash? What a fucking single, John Bellion. Jeez. Man, I really love what he's doing. It's great to have him back. I got to produce John Bellion when he was a teenager and nobody knew who the fuck he was. And I knew he was that gifted back then. Same with Ariana Grande. That girl, the moment I met her, I was like, destined for wicked. Not exactly. I'm going to let Mazzy out. She's being unruly. You want to go outside? Okay. Okay. Go on. You can come back if you want. Oh, that girl is amazing. What was I saying? Something about Ariana Grande. I can't remember the other details. Anyway, wow, the chat roll is cranking. Olin, Candon Entertainment, MBI, Joe Fairwick, Nathan Flynn, thank you for the question. Rich Keller, Key plugins, I'm having great. Yeah, I need to. You were telling me about those. I got to check them out. Edua, Benjamin Hickson. Hickson. Benjamin Hickson. Shahid Malik. Bobby Washington. Man, there's a whole bunch of people I haven't seen. No, I've seen some of you guys. Great to have you back. All right, so where was I? Q&A, chat roll, Ken Lewis, critique, giveaway. I've talked enough about gain staging. Let's go to the Ken Lewis critique giveaway. So, I'm giving away a critique for whatever you want. Whoever wins, whatever you want me to critique, submit me the song, what you want me to critique about it, a list of questions, and I will go deep into what I'm hearing. I will answer all of your questions and try and give you as much like guidance and direction and feedback as to, okay, this is what I would do if I were you. So somebody's about to win that, anybody worldwide, and that's like a written thing. I also do these on SoundBetter and my own site. If you go to kenlewis.com, you can find me there. I'm giving one away tonight. They're usually $150, but well worth it. My SoundBetter reviews tell me so. So let's go to the winner of that, and then we're going to go straight to Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery, who's going to give us some free plugins.
Stephen Ramos won. You're back.
I'm back. Stephen Ramos won. Congratulations, Stephen Ramos. Man, you are doing quite well with Mixing Night.
Now we're going to Manderson.
We're going to go to Marcus Manderson in 1 second, but I'm going to give a couple more shout-outs. Press Play Studios, what's up? Armin Sangera, I love your comment. ALLCOMP doesn't have the character of LOLCOMP. You are absolutely 100,000% after my own heart right here. But, you know, we got them both. Whatever connects with your brain is what you should be using. For me, LOLCOMP is usually all over my own sessions, so... but I'm a fucking dork and proud of it. See, Brian Pepin is back. All right, we're going to go to Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery. Oh, okay. So I'm going to keep talking. So while we're waiting to queue up Marcus, I'm going to take some more questions. MBI asks, "Hey Ken, could you do a decent mix on a MacBook Pro speakers?" I wouldn't be comfortable doing a final mix, but I think I could do a decent mix. It would be much more difficult, and the way that I would do it would be I would have a bunch of different reference songs that were similar to mine or had similar elements to mine that I could be like, okay, this one sounds like this through these speakers. This one, mine isn't quite sounding that way. Mine is sounding a little meh. Okay, let me work to get the thing that I envisioned in my head, which was this song, to sound a bit more like this coming through those speakers. And same with the, the phone listen with the audio movers listen to. It's kind of the same thing. You want that gut check of like, when this is in the real world, is it going to sound the way I want it to? Okay. JRL asks, "Hey Ken, great MJ mix tonight. After your mix is done, is there anything extra you might do to bring out the phantom center of a vocal more, or do you go back to the stems to adjust the vocal track?" What do you mean the phantom center of a vocal? I don't really understand that question. I mean the vocal is mono in the center, so I try and like my mix bus finishing typical move is, and this goes for production as well, is when I think I'm done, I turn the mix up hella loud, and I open the studio door and I walk outside and I listen to my mix outside, and I ask myself, can I understand all of the lyrics? Does it sound good? Is the mix translating the way I want it to? Are there any moments that still need cleaning up, or are there any sections that still need cleaning up? And as soon as I can listen through a couple times outside without making any more tweaks, I know I'm done. And you know, that's kind of more like you've got to put yourself in these different real world perspectives as a pro mixer. You know, you got to check it on headphones, on your phone, on, you know, in mono, on great speakers, on shit speakers, down the hall. And you kind of learn your own techniques for this and what really works for you and your processes. And then you just, you know, you do those. And if people like them, hopefully they keep hiring you. So, you know, that's the way it is. Are we ready?
got Manderson ready.
Let us go to Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery. He's going to give you guys a bunch of free plugins tonight. Thank you very much, Marcus. Marcus is actually in London, England right now with Brianna Shelko. I'm going to be at the Sync Spotlight in Atlanta, Georgia on Saturday. This Saturday. Sync Spotlight, Atlanta, Georgia. I am doing a panel, producers and songwriters, from 1 p.m. to 2:15 p.m. Tap in if you're in Atlanta, and if you're anywhere close and you have any interest in sync music at all, which you should be going to the Sync Spotlight. It's a really dope event. And thank you to Brianna for the invite. I'm really going to enjoy my panel. So I will see whoever shows up in the ATL on Saturday. And now we're going to go to Marcus Manderson, who I'm pretty sure I'm going to be seeing on Saturday in the ATL.
Family, this is Marcus Da Fingers back with another Mixing Night Man of Mystery moment. In this Mixing Night Man of Mystery moment, we're going to talk all about some free plugins that you can use in your music productions. Again, before we get into that, shout out to Brianna Shelko and Level Up Music Productions. I am here right now in London for Advertising Week, so stay tuned for more details as you see some of those projects come to fruition. Free plugins for you. Berlin Strings from the Orchestral Tools just came out about a month ago. This is a really high quality free string library that you can check out. I will include links in the YouTube description or comment after this segment, after this video post. Next, we'll talk about AfroPlug. I don't know if I've mentioned them before, but this is a great library for what used to be called world music. So you're getting sounds that are Afrobeat, you're getting sounds that are reggaeton, you're getting plugins and things for reggae, compa, zouk, all kinds of world music sounds. Definitely check out their plugins, their loops and samples. You see some of the genres here, so definitely check that one out. One quick reminder about AfroPlug: not all of these plugins are free. You can see some of them have a free version, and then you can upgrade to a paid version, so definitely check out the plugins on this site. Next, we have Audio Assault. This is Mix Bus Night. This is a free mix locker that you can get of some free plugins, and you can get the bigger bundle of paid plugins. But start with the free plugins, and the free plugins you can scroll down and see the free virtual gear that you get. So definitely check out Audio Assault, the mix locker, the free, and you can upgrade to paid. Next, we have IK Multimedia. Their site, and just click on free software. You can see some of the free offerings they have, including the Amplitude 5 Custom Shop, the Tonex CS, the Sample Tank 4 Custom Shop, Mixbox CS, Moto Bass 2, Moto Drum, and Centronic. For some of these, you'll get like a pared down version of the full version, and you can upgrade from the free version. And then we have two freebies from UJam. We have the Virtual Guitarist Sparkle, which is only free until early May, so get it ASAP while you can. This is a Virtual Guitarist Sparkle 2. It is the second iteration of their Sparkle plugin, so definitely check out Sparkle 2. And then you can also get Finisher Micro. This is your free multi-effects plugin. You can create different multi-effects processing for your tracks or while you're mixing, however you want to use it. Definitely check out Finisher Micro for free just by subscribing to their email. Now we have an oldie but goodie. Tyrell N6 is over a decade old at this point, but they are updating the software. If I scroll down here, you can see some of the things that are new in the beta 2025. You have the clap version, you have the latest Mac OS support, native Apple Silicon, you have modern preset browser. You see all the improvements here. This is great for creating those 80s synth sounds, synth vibes. So definitely check out Tyrell N6, an oldie but goodie. And last but not least, I mentioned this last month, but this is the week. Literally in a couple of days, Ken Lewis will be an incredible panelist for the Sync Spotlight Conference in Atlanta. If you know anyone in Atlanta who's interested in joining and attending the Sync Spotlight Conference, you can also join virtually. There's also there's a writing camp on Friday. There's a writing camp ticket where you'll be writing to briefs provided by music supervisors who will be at the camp on Saturday. So some great things happening. You can see some of the panelists here, including the legend Sam Tenez, Tommy Prophet, of course the legend himself, Ken Lewis. And over here we have these panelists joining in the evening. So definitely tune in to Sig Spotlight in Atlanta. This has been Marcus Manderson, Mixing Night Man of Mystery, with another Mixing Night Man of Mystery moment. Be safe and be well, everyone. All right? All right. Peace.
And we are back. Thank you, Marcus Manderson. Am I going to see you on Saturday? Let me know in the chat roll. I can see you. I'm assuming that I am. But I don't know who's on my producer-songwriter panel. Probably people better than me. So I'm going to have to kneecap some people before my panel. Make sure I'm the top dog. 10 toes down. Standing on business. Here we go. What's Luff's got to do with it? What? What, Ken? Did we, hey guys, did we put this in the description for download?
What got to do with it? No, we did not have this in a download for this.
Is it in the March?
We are checking now.
Okay, I think this is in the March thing. I want to give this out to you guys because I think this is an incredibly valuable resource. And what I've done is I had Jonathan assemble a bunch of different, let's go hip-hop. Let's see, okay. Let's go hip-hop. So all of these are, okay, here we go. Kendrick, Not Like Us. So brand new, OGZ, Paid in Full, West Side Gun. All right, and then we get the old shit. Look at, how old is the West Side Gun? I'm not familiar with him. But that looks like 2010s hip hop -9s. And then you have old school hip hop, which is coming in at -14 RMS. And like, I try and impress this upon people who are like, you know, I want to capture that vintage sound. I want to get that retro throwback sound. If you're mashing everything with limiters and compressors and processing the shit out of everything, you're never going to get that old throwback sound, because that ain't the way we did it. You got to understand that through the different eras, the limitations of the equipment helped dictate the sound of the day. So, for instance, I'm guessing like in the 30s and 40s, you pretty much had a stereo capture. So whatever was performed live was going on to tape, and then that was what you got. Full band vocals, everything. And then they started getting multi-track. Les Paul invented multi-track, for those who do not know. Same guy that invented the Les Paul electric guitar. So then, you know, at first tracks were very restricted, so you could only do certain types of recording. Then, you know, the Beatles pushed the envelope with like 8 and 16 track, which was like revolutionary at the time. Then you get to 24, then you can lock 48 track machines together. Then you can lock digital 48 track machines together for 96 tracks of tape. Then you start getting in Pro Tools was Sound Tools first, about 89, 90. Then Pro Tools was like 91, 92. That's how far back it goes. It used to be 4 tracks. It was 4, then it was 8, then it was 16, then it was over and over. I'm not sure if they're sending me something that I need to see. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, so the medium dictates how the music is created. Think about when it was vinyl, you had to get all of the sound onto that vinyl groove, and that is dictated by the physical, mechanical limitations of how deep and wide you can cut that groove and then put a needle back into it to reproduce it. Because if you put too much bass and too much volume into that cutting needle, it will cut right into the track or the groove right next to it that it just cut. So you've got to be careful to only add but so much bass, and that's one of the reasons that vinyl tends to be a little bit thinner. You know, those albums back in the day tended not to have anywhere near as much bass, let alone as much volume or compression or limiting or anything that we have nowadays. Track counts on almost everything nowadays are huge. Back then, they were really thought out and really arranged and really, you didn't get many, so you used them well. So did we get an answer on if this was in the March show?
We have to re-upload it.
Okay. So we're going to re-upload this to the description of the April show here. So you guys, sorry you can't get it right now, but check after the show and we'll get it back up here. But this is going to be a great reference to listen through. Let me just play you a few things so you can hear all the different sounds over the years.
Certified pedophiles. Wop, 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 wop. That fuck 'em up. Wop, 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 wop. I'ma do my stuff. Why you trolling like a bitch? Ain't you tired? Tryna strike a chord.
Man, put a lay on my back, bitch. I'm in the Hall of Fame. I'm talking $600 for the landscape. Model bitch naked in the kitchen with me.
I still take heed to every plug quote that he said to me. Laughing about the lies that these sucker niggas fed to me. Before I had my run, that shit really looked like bread to me. Now what y'all call money, that shit.
Respect my nigga to check notch. Bow, move from the gate now.
Cash moves everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Funny nigga, I flows, so one of my shows wouldn't be clever to miss. I'm leaving competitors pissed. To tell you the truth, it gets no better than this. I'm catching wreck to the break of.
But fills up the casualty. Maybe you can subtract it. You can call it your lucky partner. Maybe you can call it your adjective.
Piper said word is bomb. Grace is so big, I wish I had another Eastside Buffalo.
So you notice like the OGZ track and the Kendrick track have just loads of low end. And low end is going to drive your RMS harder than anything else. So if you've got a big heavy 808 or if you've got a lot of sub going on in your mix, you're going to drive your RMS much harder than if your bass is a little bit lighter. That does not mean that you don't put that much bass into your mix. If your mix needs it, you put that much bass in and you back off the overall level until it's balanced out in a way that you're like, yeah, this is the bass where I need this. This feels great. And if that means you just turn up the volume a little bit so that you get the impact of that bass the way you want it without, crushing your mix with it, then that's what you do. Hopefully that makes sense. One of the funniest things was that Wu-Tang thing. Where was it?
30 clicks, I'm never hitting dirty chicks. Got 35 bodies, buddy, don't make it 36. Stepping gates and doing hits by high stakes. Making my way on fire skates. No question,
I mean, Wu-Tang is supposed to be like the hardest rap group in history, and this is the quietest mixes. But anybody who turned this shit up in their headphones was doing this non-stop. They did not need it to be limited to oblivion in order to get the feeling from it. They just needed to turn it up a little bit. And throughout the eras, each era gets used to their own style of music and their own mechanical limitations of the musical creation. And it's like everybody thought at first nobody's going to adopt MP3s. Well, right. And then nobody's going to go to streaming. What are you kidding? Now everything is streaming. Like, that's just the way it is. Shit moves on. Shit moves on whether it sounds good or whether or not you want it to move on. Shit moves on when commerce moves on. We can either, like, the people who are, like, avoiding Spotify because the payouts are absolute shit. I'll say this. You can avoid Spotify because you don't want to promote yourself on Spotify and you don't want to put in the work to, get out there and do fan building and stuff like that for, the few cents that Spotify pays out. But right now in human history, more artists are making a living solely off of being a musical artist than at any other time in human history. And that has a lot to do with streaming, even with the shit payouts, and it has somewhat to do with sync. And I am heavy in sync for, that's basically music for film, TV, video, games, that kind of stuff. Where was I going with all of that? I can't remember. Lost my train of thought. Let's see. Let's see if I can get one more. We got a question. Hey, Ken, do you have any suggestions for compensating for tinnitus? I tend not to hear hi-hats and such anymore. How can I make sure the high end of my mixes are not piercing others' ears? Well, I'm sorry that you have tinnitus. I'm not going to put your name out there, but so for those listening who do not have tinnitus, I can definitively tell you, I'm 54 years old and my job is to live in the recording studio every day, and I do not have tinnitus. My ears are fine, and I also protect my ears like they are diamond-encrusted gold masterpieces that are going to feed me for the rest of my life, and the longer that I can go without making them ring, the better off that I am. So please, if you're going to concerts, if you're in loud environments regularly, if you work in a loud bar or something like that, man, get that ear protection in all the time. You are damaging your hearing, and it's fine now, but 10 or 15 or 20 years from now, it's not going to be fine. And it's never going to be fine again, and you're going to wish that you protected it now, starting now. So start now. Okay, I think that's about the wrap up. So like I said, I'm going to try and get this uploaded to the description. So we did this for the hip hop, we did it for R&B, we did it for jazz. Let's just look at jazz real quick. We got some, you guys ain't going anywhere. This is, holy crap, look at this. Okay, we're going to listen to some jazz. Listen to the range that these guys have done over the years. Dun, dun, dun.
To Peru, in Llama Land, there's a one-man band, and he'll toot his flute for you. Come on, fly. I get you up there.
This is Miles Davis. See how much quieter Miles Davis is than everybody else. The whole record, it only peaks like right here if you can see it. It just gets loud one time. Oh, sorry, that's Frank. And that's even the piano kind of crescendoing. The whole thing is really moody. And I think, Miles probably wanted to set a tone. He didn't want you to be listening to his song blaring loud. Loudness is not always the point. You want loudness with musicality, not just loudness for loudness sake. And, so that's kind of one of the reasons that you see a lot of mixers like me and the guys that I've had on the show doing kind of these stage things, so that each stage we can kind of check and go like, well, how's this sounding? Okay, I'm gonna shape it a little bit like this now. Like, oh, you know what it needs now? It needs a little bit of that. Okay, now I'm gonna shape it with that. And we kind of just ask ourselves like, what does the song need as we go? And the song tells you. I think we are wrapped up for the night. The Mix Bus sequel, The Redux. We did it. We are out. I am going to play you out with some ABBA Gold. So I grew up listening to many, many things, but ABBA was definitely one of them. And now I've been working with those Session Studio guys, and one of the founders of Session Studio is one of the ABBA dudes. So thank you for inspiring me when I was young. I'm going to play you all out with some ABBA Gold that my wife gave me for Christmas. I mean, if you want to write pop music and you want to get back to the roots of things, go listen to ABBA. All those Swedes can write the fuck out of a pop song. Alright, here's a little Dancing Queen. Y'all have a good night, and Jonathan, you can end the broadcast whenever you want. Last shout-outs, Josh S., Matt Gregory, MBI, Michael Bruce Miller, Ben Kruger, Eric Iverson, Austin Ryan, MT Champion, Brian Pepin, Right Sound Studios. Great to see you all tonight. Thank you so much. The Secret Sound Lab, Da Fingers. Thank you so much for everybody hanging out tonight. I had a great night. Man, this was a fierce cook-up. I'm really glad we made it. Y'all have a great night. I will see you in a month for Hardware Night in May.